Hello, so today I'm going to give you my first impressions of the brand new DJI Mini 5 Pro. Now I want to first preface this by saying that I've had the Mini 4 Pro for 2 years. I bought that thing the second it got launched, and I still think it is a fantastic little drone. I'm not about to start beating on it. There were only two things that annoyed me about it. One was the 2 GB of onboard storage. If you forgot your SD card or it got filled up, it really just wasn't enough to get much of what you needed. And the other one was how long the plus batteries took to charge. They took forever to charge, but I just dealt with it because I thought it was a fantastic drone. And the Mini 5 Pro is just a step up in every single department. So I took this guy out for a massive day of filming the other day, and I've been flying it every day trying to really get to grips with it. So I want to share with you some of the footage that I captured using the brand new DJI Mini 5 Pro. Okay, so I think that you'll agree with me in saying that the footage there is absolutely phenomenal. The Mini 4 Pro already had great footage, and the Mini 5 Pro with its new 1-inch sensor, the footage coming out of this is absolutely fantastic. And a lot of people always ask me when I show these kinds of video edits where I get all of my music from, and I get all of my music and sound effects from Artlist. And if you want 2 months extra for free, you can sign up using the link in my description. So moving on from that, the first thing that we're going to notice here is just how much bigger this camera module is. Compared to the Mini 4 Pro's camera module, this thing is categorically massive. It is housing that bigger 1-inch sensor behind it, and you really notice it. This camera module on the front is huge, and because we have that bigger 1-inch sensor, we get better detail, we get better dynamic range, and we just get slightly better video quality overall. Now the video quality on the Mini 4 Pro was already very good, and the Mini 5 Pro is just an incremental step up. It's ever so slightly better. It is better in low light because of that bigger sensor. Throughout the middle of the day and stuff like that, you're not going to notice a massive difference. Well, I haven't noticed a massive difference. The only thing I have noticed is a bit better dynamic range, but definitely during low light shooting, this thing has already been really, really impressive. And one thing that I didn't expect to be as good as it was is the 2x 48mm mode on this camera. Because, well, I'm suspecting they're using the same 1-inch quad Bayer sensor that we had in the Air 3S. Because we have that sensor, you can now do a lossless crop in. So you can basically get the 2x zoom, which is the 48mm equivalent, but we can still record in full 4K. Now it's not quite as crisp and as nice as a true 70mm zoom lens that we have on the Air series, but the fact that you can just punch in on a mini drone and get a 48mm equivalent with quite surprisingly good image compression as well is extremely handy, because that is the one thing that I really like about the Air series drone, that second camera lens. And the fact that we have the option to get something that is, I'm going to say 80 to 85% the way there on the little Mini is just fantastic. That is such a good feature. I didn't expect to see that on the Mini 5 Pro, but I'm really glad that it's there, because I'm one of these people who really enjoys using that second focal length. I find that it just opens up a lot more creative opportunities and chances to get different types of shots. Okay, so on the same topic of video quality, I want to talk a little bit about the dual ISO fusion. Now we did see this previously on the Mini 4 Pro, but to be honest, from my testing, I didn't see that much of a difference between using the dual ISO fusion and not using it. It wasn't enough of a difference for me to want to switch over to using auto ISO, so I just stuck to using manual camera mode. However, on the Mini 5 Pro, the dual ISO fusion here is doing a significant job of improving the dynamic range. 14 stops of dynamic range they're saying on this guy, and you can definitely see it. So this is quite a painful part of the Mini 5 Pro transition, is going to have to be using auto ISO for a lot of different situations. Now there's a lot of times where using manual is still completely fine, but if you want the maximum dynamic range this camera can deliver, unfortunately DJI is saying we're going to have to stick to using auto ISO. So I will come out with some more videos on how to get the most out of this in the future, but for now just know that if you do want the maximum level of dynamic range, you need to use auto ISO. But if you're happy just sticking to manual camera mode, which, you know, I still am happy using that, then you're still going to get improved dynamic range anyway. But for the full 14 stops, you will have to use auto ISO. And in order to take advantage of that extra dynamic range that we're now getting with the Mini 5 Pro, what I've done is I've gone through and I've actually just tweaked my cinematic LUTs ever so slightly. So I've now got a revised version that are now currently available. So these have been optimized so that they're going to get the most out of the Mini 5 Pro, but they're also still backwards compatible with all the other DJI cameras, D-Log-M and all that kind of stuff. I've just tweaked it ever so slightly to get the most out of the dynamic range on this camera. So if you do want to pick up those LUTs, you can find them linked in the description. And if you have previously already bought my cinematic LUTs, I will be sending out an email to you anyway, notifying you of the upgrade, and you can just get in touch and I'll send you the updated LUTs completely free of charge. Okay, next up I want to just quickly talk on this new rotating gimbal, the infinity gimbal style thing that we saw on the Mavic 4 Pro. So as you're flying along, you can rotate the gimbal and make people feel sick as you go upside down. And for me, it actually made me feel a little bit sick as I was trying it out first. And I think, considering I'm somebody that flies a lot of FPV, I wasn't expecting it to feel as trippy as it was, but it really was a bit unsettling. But anyway, it's a bit of fun. You might use it, you might not, but it's a feature there. So if you want to try it out, you're more than welcome to. Okay, next up, I want to quickly talk about flight performance. So how does this thing differ when it comes to how it flies versus the Mini 4 Pro? Well, from my testing, it appears to hold up a little bit better in the wind. It appears to be more stable. And it also is quite a zippy little drone. Like, the ascent rate on this is double what it was on the Mini 4 Pro. This thing really can get up there and get up there fast if you need it to. And it just feels a little bit faster overall. It does have slightly higher top speeds, which is why I'm feeling that. But it just seems to be a little bit snappier and a little bit more higher performance than the previous Mini 4 Pro, which is a nice thing to see. Next, let's quickly cover battery life. I have got the Fly More Plus version, which means I have the Plus batteries. And from my experience, they seem to be performing pretty similar to what I was getting with the Mini 4 Pro, maybe a touch longer. And as I'm flying around, I've seen over 30 minutes. I haven't really done a timed battery flight yet, but I'm seeing definitely over 30 minutes, probably closer to 40 minutes worth of flight time, where with the Mini 4 Pro, I was seeing roughly 30 to 35 minutes on those Plus batteries. So I think there is potential that this is flying longer, but to be honest, I haven't had enough flights on it yet to give you a true representation of that. Okay, next we're going to talk about battery charging, and there's something here that is actually really, really shocking. And that thing is that YouTube has told me that 90% of the people who are watching this video right now are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, like, that is actually criminal. I'm out here making all these videos for you, giving you all this information, value, tutorials, and all this good stuff. The least you could do is give me a subscription. Come on, I've got some massive ideas for videos I want to make in the future, but there is no way that I'm going to be able to make those videos if my channel doesn't grow to a point at which I can make that happen. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It is literally right there. I'm not going to continue until you hit it, so I'm just gonna wait. Go on, hit the subscribe. Okay, that'll do. I'm confident that you've hit it now, so we will continue. So when it comes to battery charging, we have seen a big step up here with the Mini 5 Pro. Previously on the Mini 4 Pro, it only supported up to 30 watts. Oh, fly landing on my leg. But with the Mini 5 Pro, DJI is saying a lot on their website that we support up to 65 watts. Now, something that I have noticed is that the Mini 5 Pro batteries will charge in the Mini 4 Pro's hub, and the Mini 4 Pro batteries will charge in the Mini 5 Pro's hub. Now, I haven't done a full charge from 0 to 100, so it may or may not do the full thing properly, but from a quick initial test, both batteries and hubs seem to work cross-compatible. So do with that information what you will, and of course, Mini 4 Pro batteries will fit in this, as will Mini 3, but Mini 5 Pro batteries are not backwards compatible at this current moment. That might change, but for the moment, that isn't what it is. And DJI also advertised parallel charging available, and I think that is only available if you're using the standard batteries, because I've been trying to get parallel charging to work with the Plus batteries, And even on a 100-watt power supply, they will not parallel charge. There is a little bit of text on the website which kind of makes me think that that is a confirmed thought of mine. But yeah, if you're using the plus batteries and you're not seeing parallel charging happening, it might not be a thing. It might not be possible with those batteries. I think because of the higher capacity of those batteries, in order to have the right ampage to do a parallel charge, you would need a higher power supply than the charging hub is rated to feed through. Okay, next up, let's talk about the bag size. Now, the Mini 5 Pro comes with, quite controversially, a bag that is way too big for the drone. And when I first got it out, I was just thinking, why on earth is this such a massive bag for this small drone? One of the beauties of a mini drone is the fact it's such a small package and you can keep everything easily in a small bag. There's this massive bag that comes with it. There's a huge compartment that is completely empty when you have everything packed away. Now, I do suspect that this is to fit the DJI Goggles 3 in, so that does also make me think that goggles compatibility will come to the Mini 5 Pro. It just makes sense. It wouldn't make sense if they didn't bring Goggles 3 compatibility. This is using 04 or 04 Plus, which the Goggles 3 can support. So they definitely support 04 anyway. So I think that's what it is for. But for anybody out there who is wondering, the Mini 5 Pro does fit in the Mini 4 Pro's bag. I brought it out to the field today using the Mini 4 Pro's bag because, quite frankly, I don't like the size of the Mini 5 Pro's bag. So that is my first impressions of that thing. That is something that I'm not a big fan of. I do wish they would have sent it with the smaller size bag, but hey, it is what it is. DJI probably did it for a reason that we might not know about until later down the line. Okay, so if you are enjoying watching my first impressions of the Mini 5 Pro, you're also going to enjoy my free weekly newsletter where I give you the latest drone news, hot tips, and a little bit of a behind the scenes look into what's going on in my life. We've already had a bit of a run through of the Mini 5 Pro. You'll have seen it ahead of time on my newsletter, and it's just a great way to stay up to date with what's going on in the drone space, plus what I'm doing in the drone space and everything that goes along with that. It's completely free to sign up to. I send it to you every single week, and I will leave that linked in the video description. And along with that, I also have an advanced drone videography course, which will teach you how to fly something like the Mini 5 Pro. Whether you're a beginner or an intermediate drone pilot, it will take you all the way to being an advanced drone pilot and cinematic genius. It is perfect for you if you've just picked up the Mini 5 Pro and you're not sure where to start. This will take you from A to Z, and by the end of it, you'll be able to capture footage that was as good as what I showed you at the start of this video. So moving on from there, let's have a quick chat about obstacle avoidance. Obstacle avoidance has seen a significant improvement on the Mini 5 Pro. Quite a shocking improvement, if I'm honest. So we have LiDAR, which is good for nighttime operations and that kind of stuff. But one thing I didn't expect to see is a severe improvement in the low light obstacle avoidance. I'm going to show you a quick clip now of me testing the obstacle avoidance. At this point the sun had set and it was already fairly dark. The camera makes it look brighter than it was, but just take a look at how this performs. Okay, I'm not sure how well the camera is going to capture this, but it is already really pretty dark. At this point with the Mini 4 Pro, the obstacle avoidance wouldn't be working. But let me just show you it flying towards me from the side, and I bet you the obstacle avoidance works completely fine. So we're going to fly it towards me, and we'll see the drone make its way around me. I can't believe the visual obstacle avoidance is working in this low light. It's absolutely crazy. Let's just try it again to make sure it's definitely going to try and hit me. Push it to the side, and it just finds its way around me and in between the trees over there. It is so impressive just how good this obstacle avoidance is in this low light. It is just stunning. Yeah, so that is pretty good. And that is not even the darkest situation in which I've tried this. I tried this on a beach where it was 30 minutes after sunset. And when I say, I'm telling you, it was dark. I was using my phone torch to look around to pack my things away. And the Mini 5 Pro was still able to avoid me using its visual sensors. I made sure it wasn't using LiDAR because I flew it towards me sideways and also backwards. And in both situations, it flew around me and it didn't hit me. And there are a lot of things that I find impressive, but there are a few things that literally leave my jaw just like... But I was just thinking, how on earth is this thing able to see me? And then when it got even darker, when I flew it towards me, it would brake, it wouldn't try and bypass. So it was still somehow able to see me in this almost completely dark environment. So they've done something on the obstacle avoidance here that I just wasn't expecting. The Mini 4 Pro worked really well in good lighting, but as soon as you got towards sunset or that sort of lower light environment, the obstacle avoidance would just tell you it was inactive, it was not enough ambient light. Where this seriously impressed. Honestly, seriously impressed. Okay, next up I want to cover tracking, ActiveTrack. We have seen a bit of an improvement here. I haven't done a whole lot of testing with it yet, so I can't really comment on how it actually is. But from my initial short test, it appears to be holding me completely fine. There's no issues there with the tracking on this. I will do a whole lot more in-depth testing in that, and along with that will come a full ActiveTrack tutorial on the Mini 5 Pro, so make sure you are subscribed. I'm going to be releasing heaps of tutorials on this drone. This is the exact channel you need to be subscribed to make sure you don't miss out on all the key things and how to use all of these key features on the Mini 5 Pro, because there also have been some upgrades to other features that I haven't heard anybody else talking about, and I've noticed them, and it's gonna blow your mind. Okay, so next up, let's quickly talk about the new propeller and gimbal strap, or we've got a corker here. So we have a 2-in-1, and this thing, when you first try and put it on, is a categoric pain in the ass. Honestly, it appears that you need to have a degree to put this thing on when you first get it, but I have discovered the secret. There is a trick in order to get this on easier. I discovered it, and I will share it with you in a very soon future video. And once you know that little trick to putting it on, it's going to be a whole lot easier. And after I discovered this little trick, it has actually made me prefer this strap to the previous one. Now, I do think that it still takes longer to put on this one strap than it does to put on the two that the Mini 4 Pro had. But yeah, there are definitely some advantages to that, and I will tell you about those in a future video. Okay, next let's quickly talk about ND filters. So DJI is now shipping this with ND filters with the Fly More combos, which is something that they used to do in the past, and they stopped doing it for a while, and now it looks like they're doing it again, which is good news for the time being, because I tend to use freewell filters a lot, but they're currently not available. So it's nice to see that DJI did give us some filters with the Fly More package. I do think they're a little bit of a pain to get on and off. They're not too bad, but I did prefer the Mini 4 Pro's twist lock system. I think it was just an easier system to use, and I think a lot of people might misfit the ND filters on this and only get one of the two tabs locked in place, and then there's a potential for it to fall off. But yeah, it's nice that we have some. I would like to see a stronger ND filter. I already ran into restrictions here with the 128, which is the max that you get. On a very bright day that I was filming on, it really wasn't enough. I did need a 256, which is quite surprising because I only really needed to go up to 128 on the Mini 4 Pro. But this bigger sensor, taking in more light, all of that stuff going on there, I do think we're going to need a 256, and an ND64 would also be nice. So I am going to definitely be looking out for those freewell filters when they come out, and I'll get them on the channel and we'll make a nice video about it. But apart from that, that is going to be my first impressions of the Mini 5 Pro. There are a lot of little nuances that I've noticed about this drone that I'm going to cover in future videos. So like I said, make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on those when they come in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure that you go and check out my newsletter. Go and sign up for that for free. Check out my LUTs. If you've enjoyed this video, you're also going to enjoy this video right here. And if that one doesn't speak to you, then go and check out this one here instead. And from me and the little Mini 5 Pro, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.